Hey guys, it is Champston Plays, and as promised today we will be finishing up our random twos games, and also as promised I will be playing a different character. Now in the spirit of guitars, because Azuri was the last character I played, considering one of my favourite weapons is also hammer, I think I'm going to be playing with sentinel today. Honestly, he has some of my least favourite signatures, but I can accept it because he has my two favorite weapons. So yeah, today we're just gonna be rounding off the games, finishing it up, and hopefully we get something good out of it. Again, today I think I'm just gonna focus more on just talking, maybe not perfectly explaining everything that I'm doing, more just talking whilst I'm playing the game, talking about the character, stuff like that. In terms of like whether or not I think that this was a good change, the random twos, I think I'm definitely of the opinion that it was a good change. Because I think despite having the same, what, 3 or 4 game modes, it got boring, and it can get boring. So to have, like, this new addition, because this is completely new, is actually quite the good experience. Because now there's something else to do on the game. And I am enjoying this. I am enjoying playing random twos because it's nice to just see new people and see how different people play this game. Because obviously no two people are going to play this game the same way, and it's fun to see what somebody else would do differently with hammer, somebody else's skill in comparison to mine, stuff like that, to see if I can actually like get on the same wavelength as another person. Oh, that was a really good weapon throw. I did just kind of use my teammate there to get back up, I admit. Probably wasn't the best thing to do. This 7 is definitely a lot more intimidating than this Caspian. Caspian is, for the most part, just kind of spamming attacks out. Oof. Yeah, no, this 7 really seems to know what they're doing. And I don't like it when people know what they're doing, because that makes the game harder for me. Okay, so, teammate's dead. Teammate's dead, it's a 2v1, and he has left the game. So obviously he has no faith in my ability to win this. But I got faith. Especially if they keep doing stuff like this. Whoa! Okay, didn't expect that. I mean, I should have expected it, given that I was just earlier saying how good the 7 is comparison. But, that's the first of 5. Am I happy about how that went? No, not really. I feel like that was definitely winnable. My teammate definitely didn't have to die. I also didn't have to lose, to be fair. Sometimes it is just as simple as that. You should have won instead of lost. But hopefully this next game goes somewhat differently. Otherwise, I may have to make it a short video and then just finish them all on another occasion. Wow, they killed by a bot. But yeah, no. Like I said, not the biggest fan of Sentinel signatures. I feel like they take way too much time to prepare. I feel like they never hit as hard as you want them to. I feel like in general the character's a lot weaker than his stats let you think. And that none of his, like, actual signatures have that much force. This side sig does. I remember, you know, this side sig used to only have the one move forward, but now you can charge it and you can get 2 out of it. I'm pretty sure for a lot of people that doesn't feel like a new change, but you know, I remember when you only had the option of the one, and so it would make it a lot harder to hit. I didn't think it would take this long to get into a game, honestly. So this video will probably run quite long today. But yeah, no, I've got a weapon. It's 2 Lord Raxes, which is awful. Because you just know that they're going to spam. And lo and behold, look at exactly what they're doing. Jeez, man. Damn it, if I had hit that signature just a bit earlier, I would have killed him there. I also just hate Rocket Lance. Because it's just unnecessarily fast, you know? Like, why is the biggest weapon in the game as quick as this? Lucky that, yeah, this Lord Rax who's like a darker red is kind of bad in comparison. This light red one, oh wow, you love your signatures. You really love your signatures. Just want to make sure he's dead, even if that is considered a bit overkill. Yeah. And honestly, a lot of the times in the lower ranks, because I'm assuming right now I am in the lower ranks, given that I haven't even finished my placements. A lot of the time, if you can just learn to read like a dodge in, you tend to get a lot of dodge reads, because a lot of people do just dodge in, you know, because a lot of people in lower ranks are just looking to attack, 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 attack. But yeah, I can tell at the end of this game is probably going to be the most irritating part of this game. Unless we just kind of mess him up. Like that. Okay. That's a perfectly acceptable way to end. Just gonna jump straight into the next one. Only got 3 more matches to go. At the end of this, I think I'm hoping for gold. I hate when it does that. It just spawns you off the edge. Basically just telling you to die. But yeah, no, I'm hoping for at least gold. In my usual friendly twos, rank 2, sorry, I get placed in like bronze. Despite my personal ranking for the past like 3 major updates, like for the past 3 resets, I've been in plat, like low to mid plat. And despite that, in rank 2s, I usually get placed bronze. I don't know why that happens. I don't know what causes such a drastic difference. I think maybe it's, you know, your collective rank instead of your individual ranks, but even then, the teammate I usually play with is also, like, ranked in platinum. Two Zerials is slightly more annoying than 2 Lord Raxes, honestly. Okay, but luckily my teammate seems pretty competent. Although I would appreciate him not just flinging out attacks. Well, at least he knows how to help. Okay. Okay. Sorry I'm getting a bit quiet here. Honestly, I don't even... ideally, I don't even lose a life to these people, but I know I will if he keeps on doing that annoying stuff. Oof. Luckily, he's not actually that good at, like, finishing off kills. Well, you know, everyone's gonna get a lucky hit here and there. I don't know why he keeps on doing that to himself. Like, if that signature doesn't hit me, the only thing I have to do is grab you from below. And then you're going to be a corpse. Okay, well he's like this, what do you call him again? This angel dude. Zed, his name begins with Zed. I don't know which Zed it begins with. Anyway, like, this guy playing him isn't half bad. Like, he knows basic combos. But obviously, isn't half bad, doesn't really help much. Because like I said, I'm not a bad player at this game. Being ranked, like, plat consistently, I'd say it's slightly above average, I think. I wouldn't say, like, dramatically above average. But slightly above average, I feel like, would apply. But yeah, that's the, yeah, 17-18 elo rating. That is plat. Only 2 more left. And, Sentinel. Ooh, Sentinel. Sentinel is definitely a fun character. He does have fun weapons, and his signatures, albeit are bad, I do find them bad, but they are fun, and they have, like, his down signature at the very least, on Katars, does have a lot of spiking potential, even if, like, in general, it isn't the strongest of signatures. None of his signatures are particularly strong. Because if you look, me and this Olgrim have the same amount of strength right now. But I guarantee that any one of Olgrim's attacks, whether it's with Axe or, you know, Rocket Lance, will come out with so much more force than any one of mine. Because, for whatever reason, he's just more forceful. Like, sometimes I feel like the stats are genuinely lying to you. Another thing I've noticed, anyone, like, any Cassidy with this skin on specifically is awful to play against. Like, they play better, they play in a more annoying way, they're more passive, you know, all that stuff. They're just awful all over to go against. See, who waits for that? That's not typical. He's just kind of, yeah, he's just stalling and just waiting for me to attack. Okay. And the thing is, like, if you're watching this back, you could very easily say that he's playing quite slowly. But to me, it's just like, he's just there and ready for all of these attacks. And it's just so frustrating dealing with somebody who, like, does that, really. Because passive players are my worst nightmare on this game. Not even because I can't play against them, just because that makes for such a boring game. Ouch. Like, somebody who would just sit there and wait for signatures is just agitating. Oh, I didn't even realize that was my last life. Oh, well, that's upsetting. But like usual, I'm going to stay for this game, like for the rest of this game, because I do think this Ogun can win. I think he has every opportunity to win. I feel like if he just keeps on playing passively, it won't really be fun to watch. but I do think that there's a higher than nothing chance for him to win this game. Especially if this Cassidy is just throwing out signatures and hitting her teammate. And that is Cassidy. I don't know what the crossover skin is, but that is a Cassidy. Because the weapons, you know, guns, hammer, Cassidy, as well as the signatures, like the quick side sig, the pretty much just the quick sigs across the board on each of her weapons. Although for some reason she's only used gun signatures so far. I don't think I've actually seen her use what do you call it, a hammer signature. But, you know, as you can see, it's just really frustrating being in a situation where you can tell like they're playing passively. And the worst part about it is like I said in last video, you know, they're just feeding themselves into this Olgrim. And making it like a 1-by-1 gives him a lot more room to react. If I was in this situation and I was the Cassidy in the or the Bodvar, I would just be rushing him with my teammate each and every time, because otherwise it's just, you know, it's a conga line of damage. I'm just letting him attack me freely. And I actually think, unfortunately, this Cassidy may win. Yeah. Okay. Passive. I just can't deal with passive. Passive is so frustrating. I very, very rarely rematch. Rematching just doesn't feel worth the time. Rematching, oof, a lot of the time people want to rematch you because they know they can either beat you or they think they can beat you, and in either instance, it's just a waste. Because if they don't beat you, you've just wasted a game where you could have gotten more elo, and if they do beat you, then you just walk away feeling annoyed. You know, it's not really... It's not worthwhile to me. You know, a lot of people would say it's a bit weak of you to not take a rematch when it's offered, because... Well, because, you know, you've beat them once or you've lost to them once, you're going to want to fight them again, but I just don't see it that way. I don't see me wanting to fight a lot of these people again, because it's usually frustrating enough the first time. And another thing I don't get is why so many people will, like... Oof, yeah, that was silly. Another thing I don't get is why so many people will start off so much at the beginning of the game just using their fists. I feel like it's rage bait, but I have no proof of that. Okay. Okay. Tezka's, like, not half bad. Although he's not so good that it's actual, like, fear. Like, I'm not fearful of him. Although this fate is kind of irritating. Again, passive play. I just can't accept or tolerate passive play. I understand that's probably why I'm so low in ranking and why I haven't really improved, because passive play makes a lot of the higher rankings, like, go round. Like, if you don't play passively in the higher rankings, you tend to just die all the time. I'm gonna do what I can to make sure this isn't a loss, because I don't want to lose the last match. Ooh. This fate is very good at covering. Okay, yeah, no. My best wasn't good enough, and that's okay. I really don't appreciate the emoting. I don't feel like that was necessary at all. They're probably going to do thumbs down as well, because that's just what people like this like. No? Okay. Well. See, bronze. I don't understand it. I don't know how, like, see, my individual rating is 1545. You can see there at the bottom, but for whatever reason, I'm bronze. I know I only won 5 of the 10, but still, it doesn't really add up to me. But no biggie. Anyway, that'll be that. Those are the last 5 done. I know there was just a lot of nonsensical talking this time. I do apologise. I will continue to work on what I say as the videos progress, and hopefully you will be able to go alongside me and see me get better over time. But as always, any comments, any advice, any questions, feel free to put them. I will happily answer. Thank you for watching and enjoy.